What is going on, collectors? Optical 20 back for another video. Today it's a different scale. We're gonna look at Mezco Toys Destro from G.I. Joe, and you can order this. It's actually on sale at bigbadtoystore.com. I'll put the link down below. That is one of the biggest reason why I purchased this. I loved G.I. Joe when I was a young kid, and now I'm collecting the 3-0 ones, but I just want to take a shot because remember, G.I. Joes are pretty small. But I still like the details on it. But I don't know if 3-0 is what I'm supposed to be collecting. I don't know. We'll see. Because I barely touch them. Honestly, I'll buy them because I'm into 1/6 now. But I always see G.I. Joe as like 1/12. You know, maybe even smaller. I don't remember. But we'll start off with this. I figured it was $50. It's not too expensive. Why not? If I like it, then I'll save a little bit of money because Mezco, for the most part, is like $90. Sometimes they're more expensive compared to 3-0, who hovers around $150, $170. So if I'm gonna, continue with a G.I. Joe line, maybe I'll just do it in this scale. Maybe a little bit true form because it's smaller, but we shall see. But so far, I do like this. There's not a whole lot though out there. I don't know if G.I. Joe has more. I don't think they have Cobra Commander yet. I guess right now on G.I. Joe wise, I have 3 from 3-0, and this is the first one I have for Mezco. Mezco has always been on the back of my mind, alternative wise to 1/6, because A, they're cheaper, B, they only take up so much space, both packaging and the accessories. They actually give you a little baggie, you can see there. So those are the hands. It's like a mini Hot Toys. Not the same quality, of course. You're also not paying the same price. Especially this one is like a quarter of a price more, maybe a sixth of a price of a regular Hot Toys. So you would also get a sixth of the quality for the most part. But for something like Destro, who doesn't have intense likeness or whatnot, this would suffice, at least for me. I can't speak for everyone, but yeah, this is the accessories. It comes with decent amount, as a matter of fact. You got the base, you got this Hot Toys. Listen to this. They give you the dynamic and then just regular base. Please do that. With regular, I mean this base you could peg in his foot, so you don't have to use the dynamic stand. Now you got this other part for his briefcase, which they are removable as well, so that's pretty impressive. So let's take a look at some of the accessories that it comes with. So you got, like I said, this base. It has like a plastic on it. I normally don't use base for Mezco. I don't. It's just, I feel like the circle thing is too big. It takes too much space. It's not in the, so you have to tilt it backwards. I don't really want to use this. So you're gonna push that thing down if you want to utilize the dynamic pole. So this is it. You see a bunch of hands out there. This is his rifle. You could remove, it's probably not real, like by not real I mean not real model. You could remove this and replace the magazine with different ones, but it's pretty impressive at this scale that you even have moving parts, and it's highly detailed as well. Maybe I'm just used to 1/6 now, and here are the other components that you could switch around. So that is pretty cool. You have a second holster because you do have a second handgun that is included in the briefcase. And then this is the handgun with the laser attachment at the bottom. I'm assuming it has a flashlight as well. Don't know the model. He has his necklace. Honestly, I don't even know the story of G.I. Joe now. I don't remember. I just have a fond memory of them because I wanted to buy a lot. Every time that we go to a store, it always catches my eyes. It was cheap enough when I was young. Not the main characters, at least. There's like always clearance on this, and then my mom always tries to buy me one as much as she could. So now that I am an adult, of course, the first thing I would do is waste my money on toys. But yeah, Destro never had one when I was a kid. Never had one. I always have these weird characters that no one knows about. A guy with a shark, a guy with, some vehicle of some sort. But no one knows their name because they're the cheap ones. And you see this attach case right here, and you can assemble a like a gun out of this, which is pretty cool. You got a scope, you got the stock handle, and then that's the holster for that gun, and then you can take this out. And if you want to, normally I would use this because this is pretty cool. I don't even know what this is. There's no instructions, but it's pretty cool. It gives you an on and off button. You're gonna install some batteries, and then it does light up. You know, the only recollection I have of Destro, and this is kind of sad, is from the G.I. Joe live action movie, and I enjoyed it. A lot of people didn't, but hey, it's G.I. Joe. It's the only two we have. So I'm okay with it. The one is with the Rock on it, and then maybe 3 because there's like a Snake Eyes origin. Not the best movie out there as well, but I'll take it still. You know, any G.I. Joe and Snake Eyes, Storm Shadow. Maybe I'll get it from Mezco, and we'll go from there. We'll see. You know, and this is one good thing about Mezco is because even though they are 112, they're pretty small. The tailoring, I wouldn't say rival Hot Toys, but for a small scale, it's pretty impressive. Like the fabric that they used here is pretty stretchy. It's kind of some things that you would find in a legging or something like that, that it wouldn't break because you're gonna post this around. It's a toy, so I'm assuming there's joints and all that stuff. So it is pretty safe. And then you see the line work are rubber as well, so you move them around, it follows through. I don't think it's gonna crack or break over time. The neck pillow, it looks like he's going to an airport. I don't know what you call that. It's the underside of it also does have that rubber, and then you see he even has like a flip up something on his gauntlet there, and then the boots, you have articulation on his ankles. Got some thigh muscles as well. I'm pretty sure he does squats because he doesn't skip leg days. He got a rubber belt, and the holster is rubber as well. You can see there's even some details on that screen. It's pretty small though. Camera won't capture it. But let's go to the head sculpt. And as you see earlier when I was unboxing this thing, he has several. He has 3 spare head sculpts that he does have. Is it 3? No, it's 2. He has 2 other head sculpts, so that is pretty impressive in it by itself, for $50. And it is pretty nice. There's the other one's laughing. This is like the chrome head sculpt that he does have. This is the one. Oh, this is one of the spare. Yeah, because I couldn't figure out initially what is the difference between this and the default head sculpt that is included. Like this guy right here, it doesn't have likeness. Skin tone is Mezco's, and this one has eyebrows. That is the difference that I saw. And then the line work on his, I don't know what you call that, the cheeks, it's a little bit deeper. It's more squarish, more edgy on this guy right here. And then he has another one. This is pretty cool, a laughing head sculpt. It looks like The Rock with the eyebrows up, but he's silver, But it's pretty cool that we do have all this. I would say after owning a few Mezcos now, the biggest weakness they have is the skin tone. Like, look at this skin tone, this flesh skin tone in his chest. That is pretty sloppy. And also the likeness. They're not the best when it comes to likeness. But, characters like this or Wolverine from comic books, it's not too bad. Like, it's you don't have a point of reference like an actual actor. It's more of a like an imaginary character, not imaginary, but like a comic book character that it's decent. Now if he was like 150, 120, that would be a different story. But for $50, not too bad. Articulation, this is better than Hot Toys, of course. At this scale and at this price, it should be able to articulate, and it does. Maybe not the same way as a regular G.I. Joe, because G.I. Joe has more points of articulation, but then again, you won't get the same detail as far as outfit, changing of head sculpts, hands and all that stuff. So this is a good compromise in between. I don't have the Destro 3.0, but they have their own merits, like 3.0, the 1/6 scale and the 1/12 scale. So this you could replace you can deploy the rockets. You know, you can replace it in his forearm. So this is a pretty cool look right here. And then when you shoot him up close, it's not bad. It doesn't even look like a small figure, you know, like from a distance like this. Now the proportions might be, you know, a little stumpy because he is on the smaller side of scale, but the effects, the amount of head sculpt, the accessories, I don't think you're not gonna get that from 3.0. It's not that I don't think, I know for sure you're not gonna get it from 3.0. So, and also the price. This is like a third of a price of 3.0. I'm not bashing 3.0 by any means. I'm still undecided, but I'm just letting you know what my rationale is. And I might go back to 3.0 because I'm so deep into 1/6 scale collection now that, you know, having 112 here and there, you know, it scratches the itch every once in a while that I have one. It's just that with 112, it doesn't feel, I don't feel too worried about breaking it. I guess both the size and the price, that I'm more free to do poses. To a certain extent, it's a bit more, a different kind of enjoyment that I get when I review 112 or I buy 112, because I can be a little bit rough on it compared to Hot Toys, where Hot Toys in general is already a bit fragile. As you know, you moving around, maybe you'll tear a suit or you'll break something, and now you just broke a $350 figure. In here, you broke a $50 figure. Still kind of sucks, but it's not the same. It's not the same, you know, when you break an in-art, for example. So you're a bit more careful handling those. But here is some of my 112, recent one at least. I got Mike Myers, also from Mezco, Storm Collectibles, Gears of War, Marcus Phoenix. So, you know, they look pretty cool. The final thoughts on this guy. It's actually good. I've always liked Mezco. Like I said, Mezco is like the Hot Toys of 112. You can correct me from that. I'm not an expert with 112, but I always felt like Mezco is the higher end 112. They're also the most expensive in my opinion. But now, also InArt is going into the 112 scale. They have their Batman. I haven't seen that yet. I wish I could see that one day. You know, we'll see. But that has a different feel to it because it doesn't use the material. You know, I understand that, but Mezco is kind of true to that form where they use actual fabric and all that. This one's a bit hybrid because of his, you know, neck piece and all that stuff. But for the most part, it feels like a smaller Hot Toy. So like I said, I am not gonna leave 1/6. That's just impossible. But every once in a while, when I see a sale like this, like this guy's $50, I just hard to resist. There's a triple pack right now, Mezco, and I already have that in 1/6, so I might not buy it, but it's really tempting to get the Justice League, the Batman, Superman, and Flash for that price. I am extremely tempted, but let me know in the comments, is Mezco, you know, a good, not alternative, maybe alternative is not the right word, but let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.